Today, on Be Something Wonderful, rest in the conviction of fulfillment. This is Next Level Neville. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Big video today, so let's get started. This was a session yesterday that I had with a client, and it was really a great unpacking. Several, but I want to talk about this one in particular, because he goes, Tom, I really get it now, what the idea of the Sabbath is. He goes, you're right, it's really next level Neville. And here's what he said. We talked about this idea that one of the clients I've mentioned in several videos now, that he said, conditions are conditions, but I am. But we even took it a little further. And this is what we discussed. The way things are or appear to be at this moment in 3D reality are no longer the way you are or who you are. In other words, he really got it that the way the things are or the way things appear to be are no longer who I am. Wow, this is powerful. I really want to hit this. He goes, wow, I get it. The penny dropped. This is what he said, the penny dropped. 3D reality is whatever it is at this moment, but I am. Meaning, I am no longer, remember, you're always looking at the past, or what we call the past, right? Slides that are no longer your reality. You're different. Rest in the fulfillment. Rest in the end. Rest in your new identity. That's the true meaning of the Sabbath, right? You've imagined, you've affirmed, you've announced and declared your new reality. You've entered your new identity and viewpoint, right? Remember, it's just the way things are is no longer relevant, right? Because when I talked with this guy about a few months ago, he goes, well, it's just the way things are. We really moved off that. They're not the way things are. They're the way you are. So start looking at reality as you want to see it. The way things are or appear to be at this moment 3D reality are no longer the way you are or who you are, right? He stopped wanting things to be different and moved to the knowing, hear this, that they already are. He stopped wanting and needing things to be different and hoping for things to be different and moved to the knowing that they already are. Let's hit this. So, when you are looking out at 3D conditions, you are looking at the past. I've talked about this now, right? What we think of as the past, right? You are looking at who you were, not at who you are in this new moment. That's what we mean by the past, right? You're no longer that version of yourself you were the moment before, right? So you're always looking at the past. But so you're looking at who you were, not at who you are at this new moment. Your new identity, that new version of you that's resting in your desired imagined end, no longer gives the prevailing or perceived 3D conditions and events relevance or importance that don't align with that new identity. Do you hear it? This is what he really got, right? This idea that I'm in my new reality. The way things are no longer the way I am. Wow. Or the way things appear that they are, right? That's powerful. Your new identity, version of you that's resting in your new desired imagination, you no longer give the prevailing 3D condition events relevance or importance that don't align with your new identity. Wow, that's powerful. So you're not judging according to appearance, but with righteous judgment now. We've talked about this often. He's now looking at reality with not judging according to appearances, not judging according to what was, but who he is now. Righteous judgment, right? 3D conditions are the way things are or appear to be, but they are no longer the way you are or who you are in this moment. Wow. So powerful. As source of your reality, the way you see reality is the only reality. It's the way you see it, the way you are, the way you decide, the way you choose is the only reality. You see the greater reality behind the sleight of hand or illusion of 3D reality. Right? We've talked about this idea in videos before, right? Remember, illusion doesn't mean it's not real. It just means that things are not what they seem to be, right? The senses are perceiving something different than what really is going on here, right? The true reality. Things are just not what they seem to be. We're not talking about something that's unreal. Everything's real. Everything's a real experience of ultimate reality. So remember, illusion doesn't mean things and events of 3D reality are not real. Rather, it means they are not what they appear to be. They're not what they seem to be, right? Remember, and once you declare that new identity, then the way things are or the way things appear to be are no longer who you are. Wow. Time is a trick, a sleight of hand, a vast illusion. This is from A Course in Miracles. A trick, a sleight of hand, a vast illusion in which figures come and go as if by magic. Yet, there's a plan behind appearances that does not change. The script is written. I am. Is it right? That all scripts are written. All things are possible. But I am is that never-changing completion, fulfillment that you are. And when you decide what that is, when you condition that, when you decide what part of all that is that you want to see, when you decide what part of your fully evolved self, you, that you want to see, what part of that evolution, you get to determine that. I am is the magician, right? That's really the magician. As Neil Donald Walsh says in Conversation with God, you are the magician who has forgotten your own tricks. That's what happens when we believe in the illusion, right? That things that those conditions are who we are. Remember, you are no longer those conditions. Those conditions no longer represent you, right? You are you, and those conditions will change, will form, will rearrange themselves around you. Right? What do? I had this discussion with a client yesterday. This client was rearranging themselves around the conditions. Do you see it? We have it upside down. The conditions will rearrange themselves around you, who you're conscious of being. That's powerful, right? You're like a magician who's got his own tricks. And remember, what is the Sabbath that Neville Goddard talks about and other spiritual teachers? By the seventh day, God completed his work, which he had done, and he rested. This is the idea of the Sabbath, but remember, what's the 7 mean? The 7's not a period of time. It's not that God needs 7 days to create the world. It's created in God's thought of it, and God's announcement of it. So what does the 7 mean? The 7 appears more than 700 times in the Bible, meaning completeness, perfection, fullness, or absolute fulfillment. That's what that means. It's a state of consciousness. It's a state of completion. It's a state of fullness. It's your I am. It's who you are. That's why it appears more than 700 times in the Bible and more than 50 in Revelations alone. Right? The 7th day is not about time. God doesn't need time to create. And God doesn't need to rest. Why? Why would God need to rest? Right? God doesn't need rest. God doesn't get tired. Right? God doesn't need rest from his work. The Sabbath is a state of absolute conviction and fulfillment that you already are that which you want to be, that you already have that which you wanted or were desiring. You're already there. That's what that means. You're there and you've been there the whole time. That's what all of that means. I've left links till we really unpack this idea of the Sabbath in other videos. I left links to like maybe 4 or 5 other videos, and you'll see those. So, but not just that it's done, but that it's always done. Hear this, the Sabbath, that state of wish fulfilled, that state of completion, that state of absolute knowing that you are who you are, and you are who you announce you are, and that 3D conditions will rearrange themselves around that as opposed to you rearranging yourself around 3D conditions. It's done, but it's always done, and it's always been done, and it's always being done. And it will always be done, meaning there is no time. There is nothing other than fulfillment. There's only fulfillment. There's only completion. There's only perfection. God only knows fulfillment, right? The Sabbath is a state of consciousness of already being who you desire to be and having what you desire to have, right? It's the absolute completion state of being I am that I am. The absolute, the completion, the state of being I am that I am. Right? Then God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it. Genesis 1:2. What does that mean? God, remember it says God set it aside as holy. Holy means whole or complete. I am, to remember. So the idea is to remember who you really are. That's what that means. It's about, remember, that's what really positivity means. It means being more aware. It means aspiring to your I am. Aspiring to the whole completeness of who you are. Aspiring to your ideal state. Or your wish fulfilled, or your ideal. God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, holy, complete, I am, to remember your inner divinity, to remember who you really are. That's what the day was. That's what that means. But remember, the seventh day means what? It's a state of fulfillment. It's a state of consciousness. It's not about time. It's not about days. It's not about any of that. You're continually remembering who you are. You're continually in that state of completion. So the state of wish fulfilled is not about trying to feel good or a certain way. So we always think it's about feeling good or feeling a certain way despite judged unwanted conditions, or trying to stay in a feeling good state or feel a certain way about our wish fulfilled long enough until the 3D reality changes. It's not about tolerating 3D until it manifests. It's not about any of that, but rather it's to remember, hear this, that you are greater than the conditions, the prevailing conditions, right? It's that you're greater than appearances, that within and behind the less than 0.1% of physical manifested reality, these appearances, is the complete whole or holy you. Right? That ideal, and whatever ideal that you hold, whatever wish that you believe that you want or desire, when you hold that as already having it and already being it and already knowing it, that's the Sabbath, right? It's about seeing all conditions and events, not the way they are or appear to be, but the way you really are. Wow. That I am, your ideal identity and your ideal reality. That's really resting in the conviction of fulfillment. This is Next Level Neville. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for subscribing and liking and commenting on the videos. Thank you for joining our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors. At facebook.com/groups/be something wonderful, where you can share insight and guidance with others. And we have a Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin. We also have a Facebook organization page at Be Something Wonderful on Facebook. You can visit that. Or just go to our website anytime at tomkearin.com or besomethingwonderful.com. Creators, with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, this is Tom. We'll see you soon.